Well, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a joint session of Congress, like I mentioned there, a rare honor, as he is one of the few leaders who have in the past had the opportunity to speak the august gathering more than once. Modi joined the likes of Nelson Mandela and Winston Churchill in doing so. Speaking in front of a packed house at the Capitol Hill, Modi highlighted his country's diversity and ever closer ties to the United States.
We are home to all faiths in the world, and we celebrate all of them. Indian Americans have played a big role. They are brilliant in every field, not just in spelling bee. With their hearts and minds, talent and skills, and the love for America and India, they have connected us. They have unlocked doors. They have shown the potential of our partnership. Mr. Speaker, distinguished members, every Indian Prime Minister and American President of the past has taken our relationship further. But our generation has to honor of taking it to greater heights. Mr. Speaker and distinguished members, the last few years have seen deeply disruptive developments. With the Ukraine conflict, war has returned to Europe. It is causing great pain in the region. Since it involves major powers, the outcomes are severe. Countries of the global south have been particularly affected. The global order is based on the respect for the principle of the UN Charter, peaceful resolution of disputes, and respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. Mr. Speaker, the dark clouds of coercion and confrontation are casting their shadow in the Indo-Pacific. The stability of the region has become one of the central concerns of our partnership. We share a vision of a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific.
Well, this is live at the White House. The state dinner has officially been inaugurated or opened by the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and his wife, the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden. They are both hosting the Indian Prime Minister for this gala state dinner. We do understand that there are over 400 guests who have been invited for this gala state dinner, and some of them are already interacting, mingling, and making friends, so to speak. They will be entertained by American and Indian artists in a short while from now, and after the end of this gala state dinner, they will all be walking across the moonlit lawn or lawn and will view hundreds of glowing lanterns. Our diplomatic correspondent Sitan Sibol is at the White House. I don't know if it's inside or out. You are out. Sitan Sibol, good to see you. What can you see around you?
Well, the state banquet is underway. I've just come out from the state banquet. The feeling inside, of course, is ecstatic. Who's who of both India and the US are present. We saw the statements made by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the US President Joe Biden. The state banquet has been meticulously planned. We know that it's all vegetarian food. It is about millets as well, something that India has been calling for more use. But essentially today was a hectic day, a long day, and a day that will go in history as a milestone day in terms of India-US relationship, a relationship that both countries have reaffirmed several times today, whether it is at the welcome at the South Lawns, then of course the Capitol Hill, the joint statement. In fact, joint statement is so substantive, you need to read it several times to actually get to know what exactly India and US have talked all through the day. In fact, on Pakistan has been mentioned by name. That's very significant because usually in diplomatic niceties, Pakistan is not mentioned. So Pakistan being mentioned directly and Pakistan being called on to, of course, take action against terror groups and perpetrators of 26/11 is a significant outcome of today's meeting. But all in all, the state banquet is something that was a star-studded affair. Essentially, where the leaders have this informal conversation along with other who have been invited. I saw several of them, including Hunter Biden. I saw Sundar Pichai, other business leaders as well. And the focus, of course, from today's entire engagement from various places is to make sure that there's a direction to India-US relationship.
Sitan Sibol, the focus now shifts to the last day or the final leg of the Indian Prime Minister's tour of the United States. He is expected to be hosted for a luncheon by the US Vice President Kamala Harris and also the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He will also, in efforts to bolster business and trade between America and India, the Prime Minister will have a one-to-one meeting with CEOs at the Kennedy Center. He will also address the Indian diaspora at the Ronald Reagan Center, which includes doctors, hoteliers, lawyers, and even businessmen. Maybe you can tell us more about that.
Well, yes, the last day of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be a day where focus, of course, will be on diaspora, business leaders. There is a lunch as well. But essentially, we know that this has been a week where, of course, we saw various visible manifestation of how India and the US chart out their own course in terms of how they conduct with each other. And at a time when great geopolitical contestation is happening, whether it's the rise of a very aggressive China or whether it is, of course, de-risking from China as well. But all in all, this was an official state visit. We saw all the diplomatic niceties being extended by the Biden administration. And the message, of course, on the last day itself will also be similar as we saw today as to how there can be more engagement in several areas. Defense, for example, stood out. We also know when it comes to the relationship between the two countries, the people of these two countries, a significant step is opening of consulates, whether it's American consulates in India or Indian consulates in United States. So that shows that how much there is an interest for people of both the countries to travel to other countries. Indians keen to travel to US for education, for also opportunities, and we have seen how there have been growing interest from the American side, especially in India's tourism sector. So all in all, a packed last day, but a packed week as well, even as the focus from Washington and New Delhi is to find more convergences and reduce the divergences.